Welcome. As we are on the week of the kickoff of the National Football League in 2023 and 2024. But first, I want to just wish a happy Labor Day, everyone out there. Hopefully, you had the day off and you got to enjoy it, unlike me, who had to work. But that's neither here nor there. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point, helping right there from the Daily Blitz blog. My guy, the man himself, Mr. Christian Simpson. And we should be joined here by the CEO, Mr. Israel Rivera, here in a few moments. Christian, man, 4 days before the kickoff of the National Football League. What is your excitement level right now?
Man, I mean, this is almost like Christmas time because, I analyze college football as well. So just breaking everything down, Saturday, the game last night between LSU and Florida State. There's one going on right now. Clemson and Duke, and then, just previewing games, seeing what I'm about to preview. David, I missed you, brother. You look good,
you
man. You look good.
Thank you. I'm wearing my Bears jersey. I'm super excited about the Bears. You look fresh as hell as well, my friend.
What's crazy, David? I met you, I think, in October of 2020, and we've been connected at the hip since. So I think this is my third year working with you guys, and I look forward to it every year.
And we look forward to having you on the show, my friend, Mr. Christian Simpson.
I appreciate
it. Let's go.
Look, that's how we're connected at the hip. I knew you were gonna have that, so I'm like, you know what? Let me grab mine too. But it's gonna be a great year this year. We're starting a new chapter of a quarterback wave now, because the quarterback wave that we've been blessed with for so many years with Eli and Drew Brees and
Philip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yup, they're all retired now. One of them is in the Hall of Fame, Peyton Manning. So now, we're gonna get to see that Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts chapter begin, and I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, we're here at Prime Sports World. We're going to be previewing every single game in the National Football League for the entire year. So please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you happen to miss us live, we have a plethora of streaming platforms that you can check out. And if you want to read some content, you got dailyblitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson's dailyblitz.blog. You can read his insights into the games that we're about to talk about here today. But yeah, you don't want to miss any of our content. We run shows every day. NFL content. Tomorrow's show, we're going to make predictions for all the awards in the NFL, including the Vince Lombardi Trophy. So you don't want to miss that content. Let's get right into it. Opening night. Big one, a good one at opening night. We got the Detroit Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs on ring night, where Kansas City will be presented with their Super Bowl rings. The last time these two teams played was in 2019. So this looks, September 29, 2019. Do you remember the score, Christian?
I don't remember the score, but I remember previewing it, and I remember the Chiefs winning the game.
The Kansas City Chiefs did win the game 34-30. Do you see this one being another barn burner, high-scoring affair between these Detroit Lions, the upstart Lions, and the reigning Super Bowl champs?
All right, David, you know what time it is. Come on, man. We do this every year. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shameless plug number 1, baby.
Nah, man. I mean, this is a very interesting opener. I don't think this was something that many saw. The Lions, they ended their season on a high note last year by eliminating Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and that would end up being Aaron Rodgers' final game as a member of the Green Bay Packers. But I love Dan Campbell. I love what he brings to the table, and I'm telling you right now, if I were playing right now, I think he's the coach I want to play for. I'd run through a brick wall for him, and that team really feeds off the energy that he provides. They have nice weapons. That defense is going to be nice with Aiden Hutchinson, who I think is a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And I think he can win the award multiple times. But when I look at Kansas City, there's 2 question marks with them. One, do they have another pass catcher outside of number 87? That's the $1 million question right there. And number 2, this Chris Jones situation looks like it's getting uglier before it gets better. And I'm just going to say it right now, David. They can't win a Super Bowl without Chris Jones. Plain and simple. Look, that's just facts right there. I preview this one on Thursday, right before kickoff, about an hour or 2 before kickoff. Be on the lookout.
Me and TJ, when we did the Kansas City Chiefs preview show, They will not win the division if they don't have Chris Jones.
I think they can win the division, but going through, like, okay.
I think it becomes way more difficult because of how good that division is outside of obviously the Las Vegas Raiders. But this Chris Jones, he fails to report. He's probably not going to play, at least in this game. And yeah, I have big time questions. I mean, you replaced both your tackles. You brought people in off free agency. You lose 2 Pro Bowl tackles in the offseason. You got to try to replace them, and you got to replace. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster and all the memes aside, he was good for them last year. And you're hoping Kadarius Toney, who you had all the fun with in New York, he could take another step forward and be healthy and just kind of get his mind right and be able to play productive football. But yeah, it's I don't know. But I think this is a very good game. I think the Lions, this is a difficult draw. You get the Kansas City Chiefs on ring night when they're going to get their championship rings. The banner is going to go up. For a Lions team that has a lot of high aspirations of winning the division this year, this is a tough draw for week 1. I'm taking the Chiefs to win the game. I do think this is going to be extremely high scoring. I can see a scenario where this game, whoever gets to the 40s first wins. I think this game is going to be super high scoring.
I can see that, but I think the 2 major keys for the Lions, one, they have to slow the game down. I think David Montgomery is going to be a huge key for the Lions. And then 2, David, I said it a lot last year, and I'm going to start this year by saying it as well. Double number 87 Travis Kelce, because he almost plays the position in an unorthodox way. Not necessarily a route runner. It's almost like he uses his body as a shield, and then all of a sudden he's wide open and Mahomes is getting him the ball. So I'm taking him away. Anybody but number 87 beating me.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key for a lot of teams. I mean, you look at that wide receiving core; it doesn't have the names that you kind of remember, like Kansas City having in past seasons. I'm going with Kansas City. Swing from Thursday night and back into Sunday. We got the divisional foes going up against each other in a bunch of games on Sunday. We start first with the Carolina Panthers going into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Ridder starting for the Falcons. Bryce Young starting his NFL career with the Carolina Panthers. And Christian, how do you see this game shaking out? As Carolina won the last time these 2 teams played last season, 25-15.
I like the Falcons here. I have a little more faith in their receiving core, and the Falcons are one of the best teams when it comes to running the football. We're finally getting the Desmond Ridder chapter started. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. That's a formidable young core that they have. I think the Falcons win this one by a field goal.
I'm also going to roll with the Atlanta Falcons only because I've been hyping them up all offseason. But I think you factor in what should be a much improved defense, adding Jesse Bates III. I know Jeffrey Okuda's got hurt, probably won't play in this game. Calais Campbell's now a member of this team. This should be a very much. Bud Dupree is now a member of this team. The defensive side of the ball. This should be a very improved defensive unit there for the Atlanta Falcons. Also, they may have a top 5 offensive line when it's all said and done. Like, this is going to be a bruising, smack mouth type of football team. Like, when you play the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to need that ice bath the next day because they're going to hit you. You got Bijan Robinson. You still got Tyler Algier there. You still have Avery Williams. You got Cordell Patterson, Desmond Ridder. Let's see what he can do with a full season under his belt. Matt Collins coming over a really productive season from Las Vegas last year. I'm big time in on the Atlanta Falcons. I think they play a different style of football that you don't see as much anymore. That beat them up, grounded out, tough football. I got the Atlanta Falcons winning this game. I do think this will be extremely low scoring. I think if you can get to 15 points, you could probably win the game.
I can see it. I think it's going to be close because so many of these division games come down to the wire and come down to the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Atlanta Falcons here.
Welcome into the show, CEO Mr. Israel Vera. Welcome into the show, my friend. Is that a digital background?
My new
is that your actual living room?
Yeah. Oh, you know it is. Come on, I gotta be styling and profiling.
All right, Ric Flair. Real quick, Panthers Falcons. What are you weighing in on that game? Who do you think's gonna win?
I got the Falcons winning the first game of the season. That's in Atlanta against the Panthers. But it'll be a great game. I mean, I think it'll be higher scoring than what you think it'll be, because you think that both teams are going to be stifling defenses. I think it's going to be
I
back and forth.
never said that. I just don't think. I just think that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gonna
you
be.
did, David. I think you did. I think you did say that the Atlanta Falcons are going to have a great defense, and the Panthers are going to be having a great defense, and
No, I think the Panthers are going to have
these two teams are not going to score as much.
The Panthers are going to have a woeful offense. So that's why they're not going to score.
Well,
but moving on from that, let's swing in from the NFC South. We swing back up into the AFC North, where the Orange Bloods face off against each other. Cincinnati going into Cleveland, taking on the Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrow versus a full season with Deshaun Watson under center for the Cleveland Browns. How do you see this game shaking out? Izzy.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on. Don't hold any of these.
Go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
These schedules against me. No, I was gonna say don't hold these against me because I probably picked them differently during the preview. So I got the Bengals winning this one. No. I got the Browns winning this one at home.
So look, the big time question is how healthy is Joe Burrow? Because the former defensive player in me, y'all, Izzy, come on, you know what I'm about to say right here, right now. I know a key guy isn't 100%. I'm making him move. I'm testing his mobility right out the gates. And when I look at Cleveland, they're going to present a test for Cincinnati early on, David. One, that's secondary. And like you said, Atlanta signing Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates was a key piece of what the Bengals were of the Bengals secondary these last couple of years. He became the leader in like the tape and the glue to the back end for that Cincinnati defense. And you're lining up against Amari Cooper. Not necessarily the quickest guy, but he's tactical. And he knows how to pick his spots, right? Now, the second thing, I'm still worried about this Bengals offensive line. Have they done man, Izzy look like someone just stole his social security card. Look at his face. I'm looking at the Bengals offensive line, and they're going to get a test right out the gate. You got to deal with Myles Garrett, and now you have to deal with Zadarius Smith on the outside. That was a sneaky good move for Cleveland. I like the Browns in the upset here. They always seem to present a challenge for the Bengals, and they always seem to play them tough in Cincinnati. I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to be the outlier here. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game. I think Joe Burrow will be healthy enough. I have some questions about Cleveland outside of Amari Cooper when it comes to the wide receiver position. I don't think Elijah Moore is the answer there at number 2. So we'll see. And I think there's still some questions about this offensive line as well for Cleveland. And I got to see it on Deshaun Watson. I got to see him play. Like he looked bad when he came back last season. He came in for the last final couple games. He looked terrible. Maybe all the distraction get to him, but so now he gets a full off season to kind of learn the offense and be in the system, not have to worry about all the off the field stuff. But yeah, he looked terrible. I got to see him play before I can have any faith in Cleveland whatsoever.
I get but what do you? What did you expect? Yeah, the man hadn't played a game since 2020, so he went.
He looked awful.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be rusty too if I've been without something for so long as well. But I don't know. I just think Cleveland can get Cincinnati. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Moving on from there, let's talk about going into the AFC South now. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars fresh off of winning their AFC title last season, going up against the very much rebuilding Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, these are divisional foes. They play twice a year. How do you see this game shaking out?
I like Jacksonville, and I'm high on them. They're going to win the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence, I'm just really looking forward to seeing him take that next step at quarterback. You have Trevor Etienne, Evan Ingram, and now you're bringing Calvin Ridley, and then you're inserting him into the fold. Now, the Colts, they're still a work in progress. I need to see Anthony Richardson start about 5 games before I can have more of an opinion on him at this level. I saw a lot of him in college, but sometimes what you do in college doesn't always translate over into success at the next level in the NFL. But I like Jacksonville here.
You ready for it? I get 3 survivor picks every year. and I use them, as apparently the teams that I think are the locks of the week. So this is my first lock of the week. I go in with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think you start this is fantasy stuff, but you start all your Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. You start all your Jacksonville Jaguars defenses in this game. You just start your Jacksonville Jaguars. This should be a cakewalk for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They should beat down Indianapolis. Especially with all the Jonathan Taylor stuff going on. It's just a bad vibes there from Indianapolis right now. I just can't imagine they're going to be able to put together a good product, at least in week 1. Give me the Jaguars. It's my lock of the week.
Oh yeah, give me the Jaguars. Definitely, David, I'm on with you. That's a lock of the week. But I am really interested to see how Anthony Richardson plays against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he'll come out with his hair on fire a little bit, but I think he'll settle down. I think you'll start to see the athleticism in this game from him. But, I'm not betting against Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars or Trevor Lawrence for that matter. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game.
Moving on from this, Christian, you make your pick? You took the Jaguars, right?
Yeah, I picked Jacksonville.
Moving on from this game, we have one of the rare non-division rivals or foes going against each other. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield going up against Kirk Cousins and those Minnesota Vikings. Last time these two teams played was in 2020. Okay, hold on. Do you remember who won?
Tampa won, and I remember previewing this game on the site.
Tampa Bay did win this game 26-14. Tom Brady's not walking through that door. Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you think this game shakes out, Christian?
I like Minnesota. I just think across the board, Minnesota, they have the edge in too many key positions. Quarterback being number 1. Tom Brady, the greatest ever to do it, to Baker Mayfield, a guy who's been consistently inconsistent throughout his career. I want to see how this Minnesota defense steps up because they were not good last year. We knew what you were going to get from their offense, but defensively, that put a little too much pressure on their offense to bail them out for everything. Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the league, reigning offensive player of the year. I like the Vikings in this one.
I'm also taking the Minnesota Vikings. I just don't know what Tampa Bay is going to look like. They lost to the key of an offensive lineman, Donovan Smith, in the offseason. Did not really replace him. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is no Tom Brady. That goes without saying. I think Minnesota is one of those teams that's kind of getting disrespected. Like, this is a team that won 12 games last season, and everybody's just kind of casting them off as they're going to fall apart. I don't think that's going to be the case. Minnesota will still be good this year.
People are disrespecting them because of the resurgence of the Lions, right? They think the Lions are going to be the number 1 team in the North. So everybody's just disrespecting the Vikings and doesn't think that their defense is going to be good this year, which I think is going to be mediocre, but they don't need a top-notch defense to beat these Buccaneers. I still do think that they have a high potent offense. We talked about Alexander Madison for how many years? 2-3 years. Behind Dalvin Cook, he's gone. Now Alexander Madison's in the number 1 role. Now, we've always talked about how good he was as a starter. I don't think you need a good defense to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This should be another lock for you, David. Another lock of the week for you.
No, I got 2 better ones.
No. Oh, you got 2 better ones? Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Moving on from this, we got the Battle of the South. We got the AFC South Tennessee Titans going up against the NFC South New Orleans Saints. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill still the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, but Derek Carr is now the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. The last time these two teams played was in 2021. Tennessee Titans beat the Saints by 2 points. I unfortunately do not think history will repeat itself. I think the New Orleans Saints best the Tennessee Titans and DeAndre Hopkins' debut in a member of the Tennessee Titans. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I want to say this about Tennessee. So many people are saying DeAndre Hopkins' career is going to Nashville to die like it did Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, and Julio Jones. But here's the difference between these 4 wide receivers. 3 of them were at the tail end of their career, right? Julio was definitely past his prime. Randy was maybe a year or 2 away from calling it quits. And Andre Johnson was at the tail end of his career. DeAndre Hopkins is still in the physical prime of his career right now. Yeah, he's gonna impress. He's gonna improve that passing attack for the Titans, which was so bad last year. But I like the Saints here because I just don't trust Ryan Tannehill. Where have you heard me say that before, David? Yeah, I don't trust Ryan Tannehill, and the Saints finally got some stability at quarterback because it's tough to replace a future Hall of Famer in Drew Brees, and this is the best that they have right now in Derek Carr. I'm taking the Saints.
Israel. Izzy. I muted you. So just a heads up. I muted you.
My bad. Oh, you muted me. Oh, yeah. I'm drafting everybody, so if you hear some alerts, it's all good. Anyways, I'm taking the New Orleans Saints to win this football game at home. Don't know what kind of quarterback play we're going to get out of Titans. We know what we're going to get out of Derrick Henry, but we don't know what we're going to get out of the rest of the Titans. Give me the Saints. This should be an easy one for them.
Moving on from there, we got the NFC West going up against the AFC North as two second-year quarterbacks will go toe-to-toe. First, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers going into whatever they're calling Heinz Field these days, going up against Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time these two teams played was in 2019. San Francisco got the advantage 24-20. Christian, who goes over in this matchup in 2023?
So I think this is going to be one of the lower scoring games of the day. You have the last two Defensive Player of the Year award winners in this game. You got T.J. Watt, who won it in 2021, and you have Nick Bosa that won it last year. I think it's going to be hard hitting, old school, run the football, but it comes down to which quarterback is going to be more consistent. And I think San Francisco is going to build a game plan where it's going to be a lot of dinking and dumping from Brock Purdy because we don't know how healthy he is. And I didn't even think he'd be close to remotely playing in this game. But I trust Brock a little bit more than I do Kenny Pickett. So I'm going to go with the 49ers in a close one, in a hard-hitting, old-school, physical game.
I totally agree with you. I think this will be a very low-scoring game. I still think the Carolina Panthers Falcons game will be a lower scoring. But I think the San Francisco 49ers understand what they have in Brock Purdy. I don't think they're going to ask him to go out there and win this game for them. They have talent all over their offense. They have talent all over their defense. They will use Christian McCaffrey. They'll use Deebo Samuel. They'll use Brandon Ayuk. Oh, yeah, and let's not forget, they'll use George Kittle, too. I mean, this offense is so loaded, man. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm taking San Francisco 49ers. I do think this will be a semi-low scoring game. But I think the Steelers trying to have a revamped offensive line that they're trying to retool. They have a defense that's kind of, we'll see what ends up looking like. Trent Williams should negate a lot of the TJ Watt effect. Give me the San Francisco 49ers win this game. Fairly easily.
When I look at Christian McCaffrey, he almost allows Deebo Samuel to be more of that wide receiver because everything that Deebo was doing, CMC is bringing that to the table. He's catching the ball out the backfield. He's running jet sweeps. He's throwing passes. So he's almost becoming the Joker and the jack of all trades guy for that offense. And Brandon Ayuk is their best pure wide receiver. I think he's the X factor, not just in this game, but the entire season.
I agree with you on that too. Izzy.
Yeah, give me the San Francisco 49ers win this game, man. That defense could travel to Antarctica and they'll be okay. So give me the San Francisco 49ers. But I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers are up and coming. This might be a slugfest in a way. Pittsburgh plays very well at home. They might shock them, but I doubt it. This defense is going to be all over that offensive, especially the front seven is going to be all over that offensive line. And I mean, Brock Purdy, like I said, we saw him last year. He looked great in that offense last year. I expect the very same, just be a game manager, just be a point guard out there. I'll give it all your right guys. You don't have to make big time crazy throws downfield. Give me the San Francisco 49ers win this game.
From there, we're moving on to a battle between NFC opponents. First, the rebuilding, tanking Arizona Cardinals with probably Joshua Dobbs as their starting quarterback going into East Rutherford and taking on the Washington Commanders, or not East Rutherford, Landover, Maryland, sorry. Taking on the Washington Commanders and Sam Howell making his second career NFL start as these two teams, play each other. Last time the two played was 3 years ago. Arizona doubled up Washington Commanders 30-15. Izzy, how do you see this game shaking out? Commanders, Cardinals.
This should be a lock of the week for you too. Give me the Commanders, man.
No.
That defense. I mean, come on, man. Arizona's got guys from the 7-Eleven playing quarterback for them. So, give me the Washington Commanders to win that football game. No disrespect.
Taking the Commanders too.
Yeah, look, just sweep it across the board. I like the Commanders. They're the better team.
Moving on from here, let's talk about the Houston Texans going into Baltimore and taking on the Ravens. CJ Stroud making his first NFL start, going up against Lamar Jackson, freshly minted, getting a massive payday this offseason. And this is my second lock of the week. Give me Baltimore to win this game. Relatively easy. Lock of the week. Give me the Ravens. Also, the last time these two teams played was also 3 years ago, and Baltimore beat them down 33-16. I could see something like that happening here too.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening too. But, my question with the Baltimore Ravens is, have they sharpened their mental toughness? Because remember, this team blew about 6 or 7 leads last year, which they were in control of the football game, and we're talking about 5 or 6 losses that could be wins, and they're one of the 3 best teams in the AFC last year. They finally put weapons around Lamar. You draft Zay Flowers from Boston College. You still have Mark Andrews, who I think is the second best tight end behind Travis Kelce in the league right now. You have Odell Beckham, who I'm anxious to see how he's going to look. And you have Rashad Bateman. So for everybody that said Lamar doesn't have weapons, now he has weapons. Houston, we're still trying to get a feel for them. Yeah, it's going to be a rough start for D'Amico Ryans in his head coaching debut. I like Baltimore, David.
Izzy.
Give me the Baltimore Ravens to win this game at home. This man, I don't know. I'm trying, man, this would be a blowout here for the Baltimore Ravens, to be honest with you, man. Rookie quarterback, they're licking their chops. D'Amico Ryans might move the needle. In terms of being a head coach there for them defensively. They did add some good key defensive guys, but it's not going to be enough going into Baltimore facing a veteran-laden team with a quarterback looking to prove himself this year. Give me the Baltimore Ravens.
From there, we go to the battle in the NFC North with first the new look Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love under center going up against the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields under center. Obviously, last time these two teams played was last season. Packers beat up on the Bears 28-19, but no Aaron Rodgers ain't walking through that door. Izzy, how do you see this game?
Doesn't matter.
Packers, Bears.
It doesn't. They're in Chicago. It might be a little bit closer than what would be in previous seasons, just because Aaron Rodgers isn't there. But I've seen every preseason game for the Packers. Jordan Love looks for real, man. He looks crisp, and so does Justin Fields. We're looking to see the next step up from Justin Fields. They added a bunch of weapons. I think it'll be a close one. I got my Packers. What else did you want me to say? Come on.
And what else did you want me to say? I'm taking the Bears. I like what I've seen on Justin Fields. I love the DJ Moore addition to this offense. I think this offensive line will also be improved. Give me the Chicago Bears.
All right, so I'm breaking the tie. I'm with David. I'm taking the Chicago Bears here, and it's a new chapter in this rivalry. And look, you guys have been watching football probably as long as I have.
You're not getting a birthday card from me, okay?
Yes, I am.
hey, Christian, you should get birthday cards because Izzy had the Giants winning like 12 games when we did their season preview.
I did. I remember that. Yeah, dude, I had the Giants winning 12 games, man. I think they're for real. So
look,
who knows? You should be picking my Packers this week. Dang it.
Look, I'm taking the Bears because I want to see Justin Fields really step up. He's had a lot of haters this offseason, and I know a lot of those haters. Look, Izzy, I still love you, man. see if I do the show with him on Friday, David. That's all I gotta say.
Better.
But I'm with David on point on this one, man. I'm taking the Chicago Bears.
Moving on from this, we got the battle of the AFC West. We got the new look Las Vegas Raiders with no more Derek Carr. Insert Jimmy Garoppolo going into Mile High and took it on Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. Obviously, last time these two teams played, Las Vegas beat them 22-16. We got Russell Wilson. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. We got Sean Payton. We got Josh McDaniels. Christian, how do you think this game shakes out between the Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos in Mile High?
I think Denver's going to be a much better team than what we saw last year because they're going to use Russell Wilson in the way that he's supposed to be used. Look back to his Seattle days. He was a guy that thrived off what? A moving pocket, making throws on a run, and making things happen with his feet. He didn't see that last year, and he just looked extremely discombobulated. I think Sean Payton's going to get him right. I like Denver here. I think Denver's going to be one of the more improved teams this year because I know they were sad. They were atrocious last year, but I think they're going to be more improved because they have an experienced coach. Remember what I said? Yeah, coaching matters, but experienced coaching makes the difference. Dun, dun, dun.
Izzy, if you got to make a pick right quick. Broncos,
Raiders. Give me the Broncos to win at home.
I'm also going to sweep this. I'm going with the Denver Broncos. The Las Vegas Raiders might be one of the worst teams in the AFC next season. That's a fact. Period. Stamp it and deliver it. Moving on from there, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning NFC champions, going into Foxborough, taking on Bill Belichick and Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. Last time these two teams played was in 2021. New England blanked Philadelphia 35-0. While probably Carson Wentz was still the quarterback of this football team, he is no longer the starting quarterback of this football team. And this right here, my third lock of the week, Philadelphia goes up big against the New England Patriots. I do not like what New England's done this offseason. I do not understand their offense. I don't understand their defense should be still pretty stout, but their offense is going to be abysmal. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. Sweep it.
I'm with you. I like the defending NFC champs as well. I just don't think New England has the talent across the board to stick with Philly, yard for yard, play for play, and game for game. I'm taking the Eagles. Can't wait to see what Jalen Hurts does. Had an S type of season last year, and I just want to see what he does, how he builds off that.
Izzy.
He muted it and he didn't realize.
You're muted.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles, man. That defense is going to be pretty stout this season. I'm waiting the last minute here. All right, my boy. Anyways, give me the Philadelphia Eagles.
Moving on from this, we got the battle between two teams that made the playoffs in the AFC last year. We got the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa and the Los Angeles Chargers. With Justin Herbert fresh off him signing a new extension. This game is in SoFi Stadium. Last time these two teams played was last season. Christian, do you remember who won that game?
The Chargers won this game last
Correct.
year.
They won that game 23-17 on the way to they win 6 in a row to finally wrap up the season there for the Chargers.
And I previewed this one yesterday on the site, so there's no shameless plug, y'all, for this one.
I mean, you can still do it. It's still shameless plug number 2. I mean, come on. But it's not. You can still go to the website. You can still go to the website and read your preview.
You can still go to the site. You heard David, the
Daily Blitz blog.
Yeah, you heard my man. But look, when these two played last year, this was the best defensive performance that the Chargers put on because they condensed everything. They kept Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle underneath. They put pressure onto it, and they shut down the running game. I think the Dolphins are going to counterattack them this time. I think this is actually going to be the highest scoring game of the day. And I'm taking Miami to get a win on the road.
I don't normally disagree with you, Christian, but I'm going to disagree with you here. I think the Chargers are in for a special season. I think it starts in week 1. They'll have, Rashawn Slater back, who's injured a lot most of last season. He's a difference maker at that offensive line. Chargers win this game. This will be a high-scoring game.
Look, David, and I normally don't agree with you either a lot, but I don't trust the Chargers defense. They didn't do anything to improve. And if I'm Miami, I'm running that football. I'm pounding that rock down their throat until they can do something to stop it. That's what I think is going to be the difference maker for. But
I don't think the Miami Dolphins have the running backs or the offensive line to really push the Chargers all that much out front.
We'll see.
It's a real fine idea to run it down their throat, but I mean their running back room doesn't instill me with that much confidence. Their offensive line doesn't instill me that much confidence. I don't think they can get that done. That's a strategy I don't think Miami can utilize in this game.
The one thing that I will say is that Miami does have is a ton of speed, man. I mean,
and they're gonna have J.C. Jackson back for this game. They didn't have him last year.
Okay, so Miami's gonna have a ton of speed. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle's gonna be about 80% with the abdomen problem. And I mean, let's not forget, man, they got a guy they drafted from Texas A&M, Devin Achane, man. He's super fast. Yeah. He can get out once, he can catch the ball out the backfield. I mean, he's a load to watch out, load to handle in open field. So, they got a lot of speed out there on the field for Miami. But with that being said, I just think the Chargers, at home, I think Justin Herbert. I mean, both quarterbacks are pretty good. I mean, Justin Herbert's better, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
For sure better. And he's got his weapons as well. And I just think that the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers are just a better football team right now at the beginning of the season. I agree with David. I do think that they are in for a special season, 12, 13 wins possibly here.
From here, the last game in the early afternoon window, we got the Los Angeles Rams going against the upstart Seattle Seahawks, who shocked the world a little bit last year and ended up making the playoffs. Matthew Stafford returns for the Rams. So does Aaron Donald, who was shut down last season. Their wide receiving core is a kind of Cooper Kupp. But how do you see this game shaking out, Christian?
I like Seattle. The Rams just have way too many question marks for my liking. And when I recorded Monday Evening Quarterback today, my co-host said if the Rams are, say, 1-7 or 2-6 after 8 games, he could see them trading Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, and Cooper Kupp, potentially trying to rebuild because the Rams have no draft capital. They sold it all for a ring. Granted, they did get one. And if they didn't get one, they'd be a bust at this point. But, yeah, the Rams just have so many question marks, and I want to see how Seattle builds off of last year. Geno Smith had a great year. Kenneth Walker III is going to be healthy. He's coming back. You have DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett is criminally underrated. But watch out for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Izzy knows. I've ranted about this kid on College Football Showdown.
He's probably not going to play. He's probably not going to play in this game, but
yeah. But when he's ready to play, I think he's going to be a difference maker. And the Seattle defense, they got Bobby Wagner back. Secondary, not getting back necessarily to the Legion of Boom days, but they have talent in the back end. I like Seattle.
I mean, yeah, I'm taking Seattle too. I just have two, the Los Angeles Rams question marks that we had going into they haven't gone away. Like the replacing of Andrew Whitworth, the Hall of Famer, never was done. Still looking for a guy to replace him. I think it's going to be tough for the Los Angeles Rams this season. I think this is probably the final ride for this team. And like if they're not going to be a team that's going to be like a middle of the pack team. Like they're either going to be elite or god awful. Like there's literally no in between whatsoever. And I think they'll be closer to god awful than like elite. I think Matthew Stafford, I think Sean McVay, I think Aaron Donald, this is all of them. They're all the last ride. I think they'll all retire after this season. And that's my honest opinion. I think they're going to be dreadful this season. And I love the secondary for the Seattle Seahawks right now. Devin Witherspoon, Reek Wolin, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs. You're not going to find a better quartet of guys than those four.
In the secondary. I couldn't agree anymore. Yeah, because what did the Rams do to replace Jalen Ramsey? Like, Jalen was a key piece of that puzzle in Los Angeles, and I think he was the heart and soul of that entire Rams team. They really fed off that energy. Yeah.
I'm not really betting. I think the Seattle Seahawks just may go undefeated at home this season. But with that being said, I think the only time they might get challenged at home is probably against the 49ers.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So the Rams are definitely not going to challenge them. Even though I know some Rams fans that think that they're miraculously going to be good this season. I even had them for 6-7 wins. I don't think that they're on Seattle's level at this moment right now. And I think Geno Smith, has found a home there in Seattle. He's, perfect for that team. He has a very strong arm. He's got guys that can stretch the field. I mean, when you have a strong arm like Geno, you only need guys to really stretch the field, right? DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett can stretch the field. Now you add Jackson Smith and Juggle, which David's right. He's probably not going to play in this game. He'll play sometime eventually, maybe week 2, week 3. Kenneth Walker. Then, you draft Zach Charbonnet, and then you draft Devin Witherspoon on defense. That defense it's like the Legion of Boom Jr. Coming together. So it's like kind of like Steve Carroll's got a second win. Sorry to kind of go for so long, but I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this game.
Moving on from here, we're going to talk about Sunday night football, and we start in East Rutherford, New Jersey, at MetLife Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys roll in, taking on Christian's New York Football Giants. Both these teams, wild card teams last year. Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Dan Jones, fresh off getting paid this offseason for the New York Football Giants. And Christian, what do you think?
David, Izzy, you know where I'm going with this. Come on, David. Let's go.
Shameless plug. Number 3. Number 3.
Okay. So I want to start with Dallas first. What Cowboys team is going to show up? Like that's the question right there. Are we going to see the team that was up 14 in Green Bay last year and they just let the guard down and let the Packers come back? Or are we going to see the team that punched Minnesota in the mouth by 37 points? Or do we see the team that let their guard down against Jacksonville and the Commanders? Or do we get the group that sent Tom Brady into his second and final retirement? So they're so up in the air, the Dallas Cowboys. And one thing I think Dallas tries to do, they think they can make Dak Prescott a quarterback that can win a shootout. And he's not cut from that cloth. He's a product of the running game. He only can throw the ball 30 times per game. I think that's it. Run the football. But they got him a weapon. They got him a threat that can stretch the field in the offseason in Brandon Cooks. And I think he and CeeDee Lamb, they're going to complement each other pretty well. You still have Michael Gallup. You have Dalton Schultz. In this Dallas defense, they're going to be great once again.
Actually, Dalton, Bobby Schultz's cousin Dalton Schultz is not in Houston.
Okay. I stand corrected. This Dallas defense is going to be great. They have my pick to win Defensive Player of the Year. That's Micah Parsons. And it's key for the Giants to know where he is at all times. That's how you know you're great as a defensive player, when you're the first guy that's coming up in the game plans and in the meetings before the game. Now, for the Giants, I think this is a bigger game for them than it is Dallas. And I say that because this is the game that the Giants need to show that they can play with the upper echelon in the NFC East. Dallas and Philly are the 2 best teams in the NFC East, obviously. And last year, the Giants went and combined 0-5 against them. They lost to Philly 3 times, once in the playoffs, and the Cowboys beat them twice last season. Dak just always seems to ascend when he plays the Giants. I'm talking like Brady against the Bills and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers against the Bears. Like, I don't know. He just lights up, whether it's in East Rutherford or it's at AT&T at Jerry World. I preview this one on Wednesday. Be on the lookout.
Yeah, I don't think this is remotely close. Like, when we talk about who's this game more important for, it's the Giants. Not close. The Cowboys, like, because there's a lot of questions going on about the New York Football Giants, about the contract they gave Dan Jones this offseason, for the way they've handled Saquon Barkley's situation, for all the questions that still exist about that wide receiving core and what the pass catching ability is going to be of the New York Football Giants. And so I think there are way more questions about the New York Giants. And yes, there are those Dallas questions, because there's always those Dallas questions. But they add Stephon Gilmore in a trade where they didn't have to give up a whole lot. They add Brandon Cooks in a trade they didn't have to give up a whole lot. Yes, they did lose Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz. But they drafted a guy in the second round that's supposed to be the heir apparent. Like, he's, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Giants benefited last season from the fact that they played a last place schedule and that's why they were able to play well last season. I don't think they're going to be as good this year as they were last year.
You talk about Ferguson. Who did Dallas draft in the second round? Was it Ferguson?
Luke Shoemaker.
Oh, shoot, Schoonmaker from Michigan.
Yeah,
from Michigan. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking Dallas.
Yeah, Christian. I should pick Dallas because you went against my team, but I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. The Dallas Cowboys swept them last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Swept them. So the New York Giants have had this game circled on their calendar. At home, we're gonna start the season off right. I think the Dallas Cowboys aren't as scary as they were last season. I think that the New York Giants, they add Darren Waller. You got a guy in rookie in Jalen Hyatt who led college football in highest catches, highest yards per catch last season, or highest plays amongst big plays last season. So I think that adds another element to the offense that stretches it for Daniel Jones. You still got Saquon Barkley. You got a good offensive line, a good defense with a coach that makes them believe. I got the New York Giants beating the Dallas Cowboys on opening night in New York. And they're not getting swept. They circled this game for a reason. They may split with them, but they circled this game on the calendar since they lost that second game. They're winning this game.
Like I said, just to elaborate on it, Izzy, I don't know if you were making a draft pick, but the Giants come into this game with all the weight on their shoulders because they need to show, like I just told David, they need to prove that they can play with Philly and Dallas because Philly beat them 3 times last season, and Dallas swept them, like you just said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're ready. They're ready for both teams. I think they got both of those games shared. Circled on their calendar.
I'd hope they take all of their games seriously, and they'll just circle just the ones.
They taking that one. They taking that one seriously. They taking that seriously.
I know what you mean. Come on. Moving on from there, let's swing into Monday Night Football, and from the NFC East to the AFC East. And we got the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen going up against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Football Jets. Izzy.
All right.
David, I don't think that the Jets ever had a baseball team. So you can't say that. You can only say that with the New York Football Giants.
Whatever. It's I would say it's
because they had a Giants team in two sports. Okay, David. Godly.
I'm aware. There's also the Winnipeg Jets who play hockey. You could say that. There you go. I'm right.
You could say that. You know what? I'm just giving you all the shit in the world because I just hope the New York Jets fall flat on their face all season long. Okay, so I got the Buffalo Bills, and who circles the wagon better than the Buffalo Bills? I got the Buffalo. I think it's gonna be a good game, though. I think Aaron Rodgers is rejuvenated. Nice to see that you go, you go and get a new Porsche or a new girlfriend, and you like her so much. And let's see how it happens after week 4, buddy, when you got to deal with all the young guys. Anyways. I like Josh Allen to win this game. I like Josh Allen to put up some points. First of all, I think Stephon Diggs, one thing, the element is to watch this whole season as it goes on. I don't want to elaborate too much, but I think as you watch this season, how is Stephon Diggs still holding up, right? Because he kind of wants to get traded out of there for some reason. So I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills, but I think it's gonna be a close one. I think they win by 3 points. I think it'll be closer than what people think. I think the New York Jets have a great defense. Garrett Wilson's going to have an excellent year. He's going to probably be. I think I'm going to go with this. Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go on a limb. Week 1, say Garrett Wilson's going to be first team All Pro this year.
I'm not shocked with that. All right, okay. David.
First team All Pro.
David.
Under Aaron Rodgers.
David. Let's shameless plug.
Number 4.
Baby. I'm actually going to be calling this game for Spotify on Monday. So I'm going to come on with you guys on Monday a little bit briefly, and then I'm going to go do what I do. But when I look at Buffalo, I kind of give them a little benefit of the doubt. And what I mean by that is, they underwent a lot last year. Because first 7 games of the year, Josh Allen was playing at an MVP level. I thought he was playing like the best player in the National Football League. And we know the dynamic he brings to the offensive table for the Buffalo Bills. But after he hurt that elbow, he was not the same. So that's number 1. Number 2, Von Miller going down really hurt this defense. Look at this defense with Von, and then look without him. They weren't able to really get home and consistently rush the passer. And then lastly, I just don't think this team was really able to regroup after what happened to DeMar Hamlin. And I know I wouldn't be able to either, because after almost seeing my teammate lose his life on the field and have to be resuscitated back to life, that's a lot. And I just don't think they were necessarily able to flip that switch back to football. But here they are. They've been the best team in the AFC East since 2020. The Jets, everything's been there for them. They've had a solid running game. Garrett Wilson has next, I feel like Izzy said. And defensively, they're going to be really good. And now you bring Aaron Rodgers into the fold. This is going to be an emotional game because it's taking place on the 22nd year anniversary of September 11th. It's under the lights. Everybody's watching you. I preview this one on Friday. Be on the lookout.
So Buffalo, Von Miller is still not coming back. He's on the PUP list right now, so he's not going to play for the first 6 weeks or whatever, 4 weeks, which is tough because, they added Leonard Floyd, but in order to really bother the Jets, you have to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. If he's throwing from a clean pocket for a majority of the game, it's going to be a tough game. And this Jets defense is loaded. It is a really good unit. I think this game will be middle. I don't know. I think there'll be a 20-25 point game for both teams. I think potentially Buffalo could struggle against this defense. I think the Jets are going to win this game. I don't feel great about that prediction, but I think the Jets are going to win. I think Aaron Rodgers. I really have big time questions about their offensive line. With Kai Becton being always iffy. But I think this will be a very, very close game. And I think it is a really important. This game is far more important for the Jets than it is Buffalo, anyways.
Couldn't agree with you anymore because they got to show that they can hang with the best team in the AFC East. Kind of like what I said about the Giants. But when I also look at the Jets, when I look at Buffalo, remember how Buffalo played last year against the Rams, how they went across the country and made a statement? Don't be surprised if Buffalo does that again.
I can see. I can see a scenario where that does happen, but I guess because of the questions I still have about Buffalo, I'm gonna hesitantly take the Jets. But I think this game could go either way. It's a straight up coin flip.
Look, the only problem I have with Buffalo, and Izzy's gonna know where I'm going with this. It's the lack of balance offensively because can they man up, win the battle of the trenches with that offensive line, and can they run the football in between the trenches? Because that's the only thing that the Bills are missing. When you're up 28 points, run the football, milk the clock, slow the game down, stop putting it in the hands of Josh Allen. Let him continuously throw from the pocket, and good things are going to happen. Buffalo comes in, a lot of people are questioning them, but I still think this is the best team in the AFC East.
I think so too. We'll see. I'm reluctantly take the Jets to win that game. But let us know what you think of all of our predictions. We very much appreciate you guys hanging out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman. Right there is the CEO, Israel Varen from DailyBlitz.blog. Mr. Christian Simpson. Thank you very much for joining us tomorrow on the show. We're going to give you our predictions for all the major awards in the National Football League. You don't want to miss that show because we can keep bringing the content here at Prime Sports World. And gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat, baby. We bring the heat.
The heat. Ladies and gentlemen,
the
heat. 24/7.
So keep an eye out for that content. We're going to be riding with you guys with the entire football season as football is back, baby. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe out there.